Hello, Joe from Joe K Models here. Alright, so last time finished up the rudder pedals and control stick apparatus there and got involved with some photo etch for the first time. And now I'm going to be working on this next part, which also includes photo etch, and this should be for the compass here. And as you can see, you pretty much just fold it up and then you put this part in here in the middle, and gonna have to use super glue to glue that in since it is photo etch, and this will be plastic. And this part's gonna be gray and the top's gonna be the black, so I'm probably gonna leave the compass off of this, but I'm gonna get this into shape and put that on afterwards, because this is going to end up getting sandwiched in between these two surfaces here. I'm going to leave the actual dials off for now because I'm going to be working on this separately. I'm probably going to leave this on the sprue tree so that I can work on these, dials and details and decals as a separate thing. But we can go ahead and get this part sub-assembly taken care of now. What I like about the way that Tamiya has this photo etch is that with some photo etch you have to rely on a tool or a straight surface to bend the parts, but as you can see, what they've done is they've left like these little gaps in between the metal that can easily be folded. So I think this should be pretty simple to get into the correct shape, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, and I cut out the compass just to do a quick test fit before I commit to putting this in between, and you can see that fits in there. Both these pieces are very delicate, so gotta be careful not to lose them. I'm going to put this compass in this bag here, which I'm also using to hold on to these tanks as well. And the photo etch I'm going to not put in the bag because this could easily get bent. So I'm just going to put it off to the side and be very aware of it, and try and get this into place so that it's part of a bigger piece that won't get lost or ruined like this one. So let's get going on that. Alright, just wanted to stop and show you basically what I'm doing here. So I've got this piece together. I'm leaving the control panel off of there because I can finish that and then slide it up in there. This top piece shouldn't interfere with that. And then I'll be able to paint the compass separately since it's two separate colors, and then place that in after painting. I'm leaving it on here just so that I can handle it easier when I'm painting it. And then here are the foot pedals and everything, and you can see that fits into there rather nicely. And I'm just leaving these two separate, just like I will with the seat, to make the painting easier, because I'm going to be getting in there with a small detail brush, and there's no reason to put these together now as one piece when we can make it easier for ourselves. So on with the seat now. Alright, here's something else that is of interest on these seats, the cleanup. You have to get rid of this part right here, and I did that already on that one, but this one still needs that top part taken off. I don't trust a regular hobby knife with this because I'm afraid I'm gonna bend it, so what I did was I just took some sharp nippers here, and then I just clip these areas. And that's it. And then if there's a little bit of cleanup there, you can get that with the knife afterwards. Okay, and before I do this long seatbelt here, I want to go ahead and get this piece in just so I can kind of dry fit it and make sure it's going to go in there correctly. So I'm going to do this piece next. And there's a PE part that goes here. Make sure you use the correct one. There's one for an open canopy, which is A15, and there's one for closed, which is A13. So since I'm using the open, I'm putting on A15 right now. Alright, so as you can see, I have attached the seat here, and the reason why I did that is because I'm going to be doing the seat belt next, and I want to just put it on here, make sure that it connects. There's a little bump up here where the seat belt's actually going to attach, so I want to basically attach the seat belt and just make sure that the length is right and everything, and to do that I decided to take the seat off. Now this isn't glued into place. I can take it in and out, and I'm not going to glue it into place even after I get the seat belt on there, because I'm going to want to paint these parts separately, and because I'm doing a lot of detail painting I want to keep it as separate as possible. But this is engineered so nicely that you can just kind of put pieces in, take pieces out, and really build it up in a way that makes sense. So if you're doing the pilot, you're just using this seat belt here, and you have this part right here that it looks like it helps you shape it. I'm not doing the one with the pilot, but if you were doing it, this is how you would set that part up. And then, you know, the pilot has part of the seat belt on there, so you're only really using half of a seat belt for the pilot. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm not having a pilot in there, I'm having an open cockpit. So I'm going to be taking these two pieces here. This one is going to get bent, and then this one goes into that. This piece will connect into the seat. There's a hole in the seat where that goes, and then the rest of this just loops right into this little notch that I was talking about. And it looks like you also use this piece up here to, I guess this is to make sure that the seat and this are aligned correctly, so that when you put the two halves together, that's what I think it's for. So I'll be keeping that around for when I actually put in the seat to make sure that it dries in the correct position. But alright, so that's where we're at right now, and I'm going to start working on that. Alright, so that basically does it for all of these different sub-assemblies. So this cockpit structure is ready to go. And you can see the detail. And all of these different pieces, you know, I can take this out, I can take the seat out. The seat belt should be the right length and everything. And that should make this easier to paint. And yeah, I think it looks great so far. So got all the assemblies done. The next step is going to be getting primer on all of this, and then we're going to start doing some of the detail painting. Going to be getting into some washes and everything and all kinds of cool stuff. But I'm really impressed with the engineering so far with Tamiya. It's really cool that they give you this to where you can put that on there and you know that that's the right distance and that the seatbelt's going to reach and everything. So very happy with that. The seatbelt itself, you know, it would be probably much easier if you had the pilot in there because you only got half of that. But this top seatbelt here requires two different pieces, and you kind of have to bend it in some different ways. It's not that difficult, but you do have to, you know, be aware of what you're doing. You have to concentrate pretty well, and I tried to show in the different video segments just kind of how I approached it, how I took my time. I dry fitted it before I committed to anything, but you know, everything's in there. It looks good, so I'm going to end it right here. You know, the next segment should be very interesting. We're going to start hitting this with some different types of paint and everything. So until then, this is Joe from Joe K Models.